We'll have to see if 007 opens with their killing their own teammate strategy. It
I mean,
seems a risky
though,
play, but it might work out.
If they do, they're down a teammate, and that, well, GGWP, I think, at that point.
But, well, one more time for the recording. What's going on over with 007 there?
Well, we got a double Kleber, Grozovoy, and Gearing, along with Moskva, double Des Moines, and then an Ohio and a Conqueror. And interestingly enough, Eagle Lance has swapped out of his role as a small surface ship and gone full bore into the battleship land with his Ohio.
He's shooting torpedoes out of guns this time. They're giant and do lots of damage. Over on the other side with GGWP, we have a double Yamato, double Des Moines, a Goliath for some sustain, as well as a Gearing, a Graz, a Kleber, and a Yu Yang, a smorgasbord of DD. So what do you think, Game Prodigy? Which one's got the better lineup?
Well, I'm liking GGWP for their ability to spot if they... Oh, nope. Their shots out already. If
this is a standard strat. Remember, they take the blind fire
where they take blind fire shots. So they have the spotting advantage, but when it comes to gunfighting, if it gets close, then I think you got to hand it to 007. Double Kleber Grozovoy that appears to be going in a tandem group is going to be really, really hard to deal with.
By the way, it is still a triple DD set going to C, so that's going to be a buzzsaw for whatever GGWP members come up there if they're not prepared for double Kleber and Grozovoy along with the Moskva and Des Moines. You get anywhere close to that cap, you are dead between the 12-kilometer radar of the Moskva, the 10 kilometers on the Des Moines, and the fact that the Klebers are just going to say, crunchy.
You know, over on the GGWP side, there's a Graz heading Bravo, and frankly, looking at the deployment on the other end of the map, he's going to get B for free. Free cap? That's going to be a little rough. Graz actually kind of looking at Charlie, but I have to hope he's going to turn in for Bravo. It would be amazing if with 2 4DD lineups, nobody goes to B. But that actually seems to be
like that. Do they not have radio location?
I don't know, but regardless, this is clearly teams have done their research, you have to assume. And now, I think one of the big plays is which is going to give more value down today. We're going to have to watch this. Gearings are going to balance, but does the Goliath give more value against the Des Moines, or does the Des Moines give more value against the Goliath? You have to think with radar, Des Moines can be more valuable, but the Goliath is going to hit like a truck.
I think the nice thing about the Des Moines is that it can really rip somebody apart when it gets into close range, whereas the Goliath has that siege potential. It doesn't have a lot of range per se, but it has enough that the shells from the Des Moines can start to space out, reduces the outcoming damage, and when, like you said, when the Goliath shells hit, they hit. Not only that, but they're really strong about lighting fires, and they're a hell of good penetration. Plus, with the incredible amount of healing, if the Des Moines just not really, really winning the DPS trade, the Goliath's just going to out-sustain and murder him.
And here goes the fire.
Oh, God. This is regret.
This match has been struck. The match has been struck. Oh, gosh. Both teams are taking damage. That being said, Amatsukaze is taking more of it early. But yes, this is the holy cow. There is so many ships firing here in the middle at sea. That being said, it's not too bad damage to either side. It's about 20k is taken away from the side of GGWP and about 5k, 4k away from the side of 007. But we'll have to keep an watch.
Yu Yang is smoking, and he's going to smoke himself right into torpedoes.
Kleber might be taking a torp here as well. I think Mad Dog just took a torp. Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
Well, that's going to pull the trade right. Yeah, that evens that whole weird cataclysmic explosion of what just happened. Dyer is actually going to be moving forward with the Yu Yang. Very low detection piece there. I believe that outspots the Graz in case the Graz of Judge backs up.
Toxic Symphony just got chunked by Yamato. He's down to 30k. That was a 15k shot from the Yamato, and that's going to force him out for a bit. And watch these torps, GP. Watch these torps on the Ohio. Oh, they're short. Never mind.
They're short. On the side of GGWP, Battleship Princess has taken a third of his health to, I'm assuming, Des Moines Conqueror. I'm not sure where that damage came from.
Well, the end result of it is there's a whole bunch of people at sea, a whole bunch of people staring at each other, not necessarily trading blows, but it's not coming out in a good sort over to 007 after eating that torp and those huge hits on the Moskva. But GGWP may not have been winning the trades, but they are contesting both A and C. 007 was able to grab both of them, but GGWP has sent FaZe over toward Bravo to hopefully pick up the free cap, one would imagine. But still with the stalling, the gearing of Yoshi is able to block A, and the Yu Yang of Dire is actually forced from the cap from, I suppose, a radar from somewhere.
Well, and you can see the respect that GGWP is giving 007. FaZe does go into B, but he's actually going to back into it because he's afraid that even though 9,000 ships fired at the Grozavoy at C, there's going to be a trap waiting for him at B. It's just going to be a little bit more delay on B. There's nothing there to contest it, and Toxic Symphony is at 22,800 health. So all in all, good trades.
Sage Leah just spotted himself, and a whole bunch of shells came from a whole bunch of directions and ripped off half of that ship. He is immediately reversing back in to try to catch cover. I think at this point he's been able to find it, and it's just going to be a duel between him and Walked and Woaded. But these are Des Moines, they're not Salem's. Attrition does actually tend to stick on these, and I think Sage did correct his error. Slid out a little too far from that cap and paid the price for it real quick.
Meanwhile, down at A, the Kleber and the Gearing are sitting there. Also, the Conqueror is down to 40,000 health. Of course, that doesn't matter much when he can print a ship, but we'll have to keep an eye and see what happens here.
Well, Desert, how is Yoshi getting chunked, but Desert Red is unspotted here?
I would have to assume that was a Des Moines radar that he was detected by for a bit. He's only 11.6 away, so I'm assuming he was spotted for a brief bit there.
Must have been.
Could also be that Deseret might be running a unique module versus the gearing not of Yoshi. I don't know what their detection values are, but I think that shaves off about 200 meters maybe. If he's able to outspot the gearing of Yoshi, that could be extremely problematic for A.
Yoshi's taking it short. No. Oh
nope,
my
Skinny
goodness.
Girls it.
How do you do that? How do you not panic and it's amazing to me.
Well, we do see a whole bunch of back and forth at C and also at A as Desert Rat and Yoshi continue to kind of chunk it out at each other. But Bravo, the free meal, gets eaten up by FaZe. Colbert having a nice little savaging there as Desert Rat does take a few shells. Yoshi and once again kind of wiggle at each other. Nothing really happening at A, but we do have the Colbert of FaZe coming over. If he and the gearing of Yoshi try to collapse in on the Desert Rat, that might be a dead rat.
And the Moskva just radared, Toxic Symphony radared, no dice on finding anything, so that is rough. There's 3 ships sitting in smoke, and he didn't find a single one.
Yeah, Yamato at A has managed to take Soviet Baguette down to half health. And now you've got Gearing and Kleber on Gearing action happening in A.
Yeah, Desert Rat pops smoke, but it's going to be a slow deploy. He's actually outrunning it, and that's going to cut it off. A radar is lit defensively just to kind of try to light Yoshi to prevent him from pursuing. FaZe is on the chase. That being said, if he's going to run into that smoke screen, he's going to be charging closer and closer to the guns of Soviet Baguette and a Conqueror. That HE is not a joke. Even against a Kleber, that could rip him in half. He's going to have to pull away and let the Desert Rat run.
Meanwhile, just looking at C for a bit, the Des Moines of Walked and Woaded and the Des Moines of Sage are still staying at the same spots. They're trying to chunk down GGWP's Yamato, though it's not doing a lot of success yet, but they are moving the Ohio up and to the north to try to get positioning.
Well, and the Kleber that of GGWP that got the free cap of B is now surrendered to the Kleber of 007 to B, so not much value from FaZe's cap, and it looks like Blitz Storme will be holding B for the foreseeable future.
Grozavoy of Amatsu is trying to push Bravo. He does have better detection in the Grozavoy than the Kleber does. That being said, if he out-detects the Kleber, could something be done about it? Maybe if they had FaZe come back and try to help in Bravo, it could be a Groz-Kleber pinch. But it looks like FaZe has actually left out the safe way from A. Is going to be kind of out for a bit. Amotsukaze is in the middle of taking B, and we do see the Kleber Blitzstorm backing up. He might be looking to take that fight. If he does, and there's a Kleber over there he doesn't quite expect, that might not go in his direction.
And just an update, these teams are neck and neck. It's a 14-point gap, and it's a 9,000 health gap, already almost 10 minutes into the game. This game is tight. And it's going to come down to one good play or one mistake by a team on who's going to win, who's going to lose.
Well, the surprising thing about this is it's turning into a game of the corners again. If you look at the A cap, the Des Moines and the Conqueror are going down the one line, and the Goliath and Yamato are trying to counter. If you look at the 10 line, you're seeing Ohio, Des Moines, and Kleber all along the outside heading towards the 10 line, and you see the Des Moines and I can't see it right now. There we go. The Yamato also behind these islands. There's really nothing in the center.
At the moment, it is a battle of inches. There's 1-to-1 as far as caps go. A is just under contest constantly. The gearing of Desert Rat proves undislodgeable. He's dug himself a little hole.
Check out Eagle Lance. He just took 1 torp. He's about to take 2 more.
Ooh.
Yu Yang torps taking 3 on the Ohio. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that's actually pretty big. That means that this slow push of the Ohio Kleber over at Charlie is going to get stalled out. That being said, since 007 actually has Charlie already, they don't necessarily have to make the plays there. As long as Arch Zero and Sage Liev are kind of stuck behind that island, they're not in play, and that's what's important. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, you have Desert Rat, who's dug himself a little hole and continues to burrow away in the A cap, not providing any points to either team, but threatening both. 007 does seem to be moving mid, however, as the Graz, Des Moines, Yu Yang are making plays or pushing Blitzsturm. In fact, shells coming in, not connecting though.
I love this play by GGWP, the fact that they've repositioned their forces into B and A to try to split the map. So they've got the Des Moines and the Yamato sitting up there, holding it against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships. And meanwhile, because they've pushed down to B and A, they can move the Kleber of Phasey back in towards that Conqueror and that gearing of Desert Rat and just start putting work in to try to get A cap and get the advantage there.
Yeah, they have clawed that advantage. That being said, it's still just 1 cap to 1 cap. Focusing on B but not getting a kill is not going to get them anywhere. They do have a 20-point lead. Now, as long as they hold that lead, the GGWP is going to continue in 11 minutes and 20 seconds, or more appropriately, 8 minutes and 13 seconds. They will claim the win if nothing strange happens. 007 has to get a kill somehow. If that means that a Des Moines got to open water, then it means a Des Moines got to open water. Or maybe Blitzsturm needs to come over and try to rush Yoshi somehow. I don't know how this one's going to go, but if GGWP is able to get a kill, nothing else is moving, that could easily be rolled into a complete victory.
Watch this conch, by the way. He might be taking, if the gearing torps have range, he's going to take gearing torps.
Yeah, he's definitely flat-footed for that. That's 2.
That's huge. Well, and if you take a look at A from 007's perspective, having the Goliath over there means no radar, and so you could technically bring the Kleber, who's in a gunfight right now with the Grozavoy, over to A and potentially try and get an advantage there by dragging them into your Des Moines, smoking up and killing them. I don't know if they see that at the moment, though.
By the way, Conk is down to 33.5 after the heal, so he's used 2 or 3 heals already. He's not going to be able to heal too much more than what he's already at right now, so that's something to keep an eye on. Yes, the Conk has a print a ship mechanic, but it doesn't matter when you take torps and other stuff that limit its ability to heal as much.
This Des Moines getting Citadel. Sage. Nope. Wow, yeah. Nice steering.
He does squeak by. Have to say, a little surprised here to see Mad Dog of 007 in the Kleber leaving the C cap while they have Judge in the Graz going to it. Perhaps the Graz feels he has to hold the Des Moines for spotting or something, so maybe the Des Moines can move up. But right now, they've got to make plays. They're not going to get kills on these things that are retreating. F8, F9, F10. They got to get into B. They've got to break through somehow and dislodge some of these point gains. Because right now, GGWP, it's only 40-something points in the lead, but it's a solid lead. And there's nothing happening on this map that suggests that it's going to get dislodged anytime soon.
Uh-oh, did Gearing just take a torp? No, oh my goodness, Yoshi with what a skinny dodge. That one probably scraped some paint off. But I think they're looking for the play on the Goliath, the ducky shot down at A. That's what they're trying to get. And, ooh, the Yamato just chunks Elgar down.
Well, the one thing I will say about 007 right now is if you look at their 2 Des Moines, they have managed to get the corner, which is going to allow their battleships to come in towards B. And now they're going to have cross shots. It's taken them a long time to get these Des Moines here, but we've seen it before. Once they get here, they could basically take the battleships, move them towards B, create cross shots, and start squeezing.
That's some pretty effective fire into GGWP's Dire as the Yu Yang is forced back, trailing down below 3,000. Looks like Walked and Woaded continues landing shells. That's a 1,000 damage. It looks like he's burning. He may not be able to repair that. There's no additional shells. Does a fire deal 1,000 damage to a Yu Yang? If it does, he's done. He drops torps. He drops smoke. That's looking like it's GGWP for Dire. And down he goes. That's going to be a point trade that was not needed for GGWP.
Oh, but there goes the Kleber, so that they trade it right back, though. The Grozovoy of Matsukaze.
Down again.
Wow.
Oh.
After 14, 15 odd minutes of just casual feeling out, 3 kills in the matter of 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Wow.
the tension finally breaks.
And 007 has firmly won C now, and they're going to be able to start coming down. That's the advantage of having the Des Moines on the outside. The only thing stopping it is Arch Zero and the Yamato. And I think the only thing that's going to keep them there is the Des Moines.
And this is what you were talking about. How do you take C when they've got A and B ensconced? Well, we're going to see if 007 can pull this out because they don't have the caps right now to survive.
No, they do not. And they've got the Des Moines of I Love All Ships that's just stuck in a position that is hard as heck to dislodge. Toxic Symphony can't come out open water. There's a Des Moines there. Grozovoy can't slide by. There's a Des Moines there. And Blitzstern's taking shots. This is a constant problem. The Des Moines up in the north of Walked and Woaded can eventually wrap around and start to add pressure. But if he does, he's open water against not only a Des Moines, but a Yamato from GGWP in the south. Right now, they've got to figure a way into B or some way to block something. A is firmly in the possession of GGWP. Bravo is kind of. They just have to find that way in, and it looks like it might come off of Toxic Symphony's Moskva.
Well, we're going to have to watch here because there's a couple things to watch. 1, Conqueror of Baguette, down to 19k, not healing. 2, Kleber of Blitzsturm is spotted. There's a fight going on. And 3, the Goliath is working down the Moskva slowly but surely of Toxic Symphony.
Well, and they are going to be able to contest with this. Grozovoy. Does I Love All Ships have a radar and able to counter it? Nope. Yep, there's the radar.
I'm gonna say he just used it.
Yeah. Who has shots on him?
And the more interesting thing is the Goliath is going to have 50 seconds to keep chunking down the Moskva. So he's just going to have 2 or 3 salvos more on that Moskva to work that Toxic Symphony down. And the Yamato might get angle pretty soon. He actually might already have angle if you really wanted it on Toxic Symphony. We'll have to watch and see.
Yeah, another slow-rolling train is Battleship Princess Rolia moving toward Elgar in the Des Moines. He doesn't have a way out. If he backs up, he's showing side to ducky shots, Goliath. He might want to shoot HE in that Goliath, but AP is going to work just fine against a Des Moines that's flat broadside. That Yamato is a death train coming for that Des Moines. It might take a few minutes to arrive, but it's going to arrive at that station.
Grozovoy's eating torps.
Conqueror, by the way, did just heal.
Yep.
Oh,
Grozovoy eats 1. Grozovoy eats 2.
Oh!
Yeah! There goes the Grozovoy. Beautiful.
And I think that's...
They may hit the Moskva.
You got 1 minute and 10 seconds. The Moskva!
Yoshi!
Yoshi with the double strike that I'm pretty sure just secured GGWP a round of 3 spot in the losers bracket and a chance to still go to internationals. What a set of torps there. You better be buying him dinner tonight, GGWP.
Yeah, Ohio is pushing it to B. And it looks like I Love Ships is coming in for the Ram because one shot from this Ohio and he is dead. There's Yammy's shots, got him down to 8k, and that's going to be the end of I Love Ships. But that's also going to be the end of the Ohio. And GGWP, once they take this Ohio down, there's nothing besides the Kleber to cap B.
And I don't even think it's going to be in time.
You've got a 1v1 Des Moines battle in C.
If that's assuming the Ohio doesn't take a Kleber torp here. Oh, yep, Yamato gets him.
That's it. There's only 1 minute left, 22 seconds left on the clock. It looks like GGWP is going to eliminate 007.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of kill that's going to come out of nowhere, this is absolutely sealed in GGWP's favor. I think that's pretty dominant. That's going to be yet another kill as 007 falls before GGWP.
And in your words, signed, sealed, and delivered, GGWP claims their spot in the next round on the losers bracket. Phenomenal set of games from both teams, and what a way to end 7 hours of King of the Sea on a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen.